This news may shock even die-hard skeptics. Our planet has experienced a boiling season. According to the Copernicus Climate Change Service, C3S, the summer of 2023 was the hottest on record, with a significant margin over previous year's measurements. Waves of extreme heat started to occur more frequently, and an unprecedented warming of the world ocean was observed. The first week of September 2023 was no less hot, but this time in terms of the amount of rainfall that poured down on the planet in such a short period of time. Watch the video to the end to see a complete picture of what is happening, and to learn about the solution to the growing climate crisis. Since the 2nd of September, as a result of an extratropical cyclone passing over the territory of Brazil, heavy rains with hail, floods and landslides began in the southern states of Rio Grande do Sul and Santa Catarina. The rapid rise in river levels caused more than 10,500 people to leave their homes in a hurry. This natural event was among the deadliest disasters in the country. According to an official gazette released on September 7, 42 people have lost their lives and 25 are missing. The state's economy, which is mainly the agricultural sector, has also suffered tremendous damage. From September 2nd to 4th, storm system Dana brought heavy rain and strong winds to a larger part of Spain. Emergency crews responded to thousands of incidents in Catalonia, Valencia, Andalusia, Castile and Leon, Castile-La Mancha and the Madrid region. Furthermore, due to the scale of the disaster, the latter two regions requested the government to declare the affected municipalities as disaster zones. Extensive flooding damaged energy and transport infrastructure, homes, and large areas of agricultural land. Population evacuations and numerous rescue operations were carried out. In particular, dozens of people had to be freed from flooded vehicles. There were reports of casualties and people reported missing. In terms of its destructive impact, Dana was the most severe weather event in the country this year. Turkey faced two natural forces at a time, fire and water. Heavy rains disrupted life in many provinces of the country. On September 3rd, large-scale flooding occurred in the Black Sea region. In Samsun, 2 monthly norms of precipitation fell in just 6 hours. People were trapped in water in their homes and workplaces. Roaring torrents were literally overturning cars on flooded roads. 2 days later, floods engulfed Turkey's capital Istanbul. The Arnavutköy and Başakşehir districts in the northern part of the metropolis suffered the most from the powerful downpour. Nearly 2,000 houses, shops and administrative buildings were flooded there. Dozens of people inside the flooded areas posted videos online calling for help. The severe weather claimed the lives of 2 people, and over 30 were hospitalized. On the 4th of September, a fast-growing fire broke out in a forested area in Maltepe district, Istanbul province. The fire threatened residential buildings. Local residents assisted firefighters in extinguishing the fire. On the same day, a storm cyclone Daniel, coming from the Aegean Sea, hit western and central Greece, including the capital Athens. Downpours with intense thunderstorms did not stop for several days. According to the chief meteorologist of the National Observatory of Athens, an unbelievable amount of precipitation, more than half of the annual average, fell in the area of Volos within 24 hours. The national network of meteorological stations recorded a record amount of rainfall in other regions as well. By the way, some gauges stopped transmitting data due to power failures while the downpours were still continuing. The Thessaly Plain, the breadbasket of Greece, found itself under tons of water. Entire villages turned into lakes. Whereas rescue helicopters could not take off due to the heavy downpour and frequent lightning. As a result, not everyone in dire need of help received it in time. There were reports of casualties and missing people. The losses caused by the storm are yet to be assessed. On September 3rd, Typhoon Haikui hit Taitung County in the eastern Taiwan. The winds, with gusts in some places reaching 121 miles per hour, easily toppled trees and metal structures. Often, it is the falling trees that pose a serious danger to people. Yet, thanks to early evacuation, human lives were saved. The next day, the typhoon made a second landfall, this time on the southwest of the island, in Kaohsiung City, where it also caused significant material damage. A day later, Typhoon Haikui brought extremely heavy rains to many cities in Fujian Province, China. The natural disaster caused the loss of lives and the evacuation of over 114,000 people. On September 7th and 8th, the remnants of Typhoon Haikui hit the major Chinese city of Shenzhen with the heaviest rainfall on record, with a total of 247 millimeters of precipitation falling in just 3 hours. On the same days, intense rainfall triggered by the aftermath of Typhoon Haikui led to widespread flooding in neighboring Hong Kong. Automobile traffic came to a complete standstill. People were forced to escape on the roofs of their cars. Water flooded the ground floors of buildings and several underground stations. The Hong Kong Observatory recorded 158 millimeters of rainfall in an hour. This figure is a new record for almost 140 years of observation history. It is worth noting that the rains hit Hong Kong and China just a week after the most powerful typhoon, Saola, in 5 years. In the first 7 days of September, floods and hailstorms occurred in other countries as well. Let's list just a few of them. Hailstorm in Kakheti, Georgia. Fist-sized hail and strong winds damaged vineyards and farmland. Roofs of houses, cars, and power transmission towers were damaged. Hailstorm and flooding in Portugal. The municipalities of Valpecos and Mirandela were affected the most by heavy rain and hail. In some farms in the Trás-os-Montes region, up to 70% of olive groves and vineyards were destroyed. Floods in northwest Algeria. Due to heavy rains in the provinces of Tlemcen and El Bayad, 8 people lost their lives. Flooding in Panama. Intense rains caused flash flooding in the provinces of Kolan, Panama, and Kokal. Hailstorm in Novosibirsk, Russia. The consequences of this event, unexpected even for meteorologists, include damaged crops, shattered cars, and queues at trauma centers. Flooding in Bulgaria. Due to heavy rains in the southern Black Sea region of the country, coastal cities and towns were submerged in water. The municipality of Sarajevo declared a state of emergency, as well as the evacuation of local residents and tourists, for casualties were reported. At the same time, powerful earthquakes began to shake the planet. On September 6th, a magnitude 6.2 tremor shook the central coast of Chile, and left more than 80,000 customers in the Coquimbo region without electricity. Hundreds of thousands of people felt the strong tremor. And already on the 8th of September, a rare earthquake with magnitude 6.8, or 7 according to other reports, occurred in Morocco. The tremor struck the center of the country. Its epicenter was near the popular tourist and economic center of Marrakesh. This is the strongest earthquake here for at least the last 120 years. According to WHO, more than 300,000 people were affected in Marrakesh and surrounding areas. The tremors lasted only a minute and a half, but within this time the appearance of some cities changed beyond recognition. The walls of buildings instantly turned into dust and debris. Eyewitnesses living in the foothills said that some towns were destroyed completely. The earthquake started closer to midnight, and people rushed out of their beds onto the streets. In those seconds, house walls started swaying, and everything inside and outside fell right on people's heads, knocking them off their feet. It felt like a bomb went off, said some eyewitnesses. As of September 10th, there are reports of over 2,000 fatalities and a similar number of injuries. Unfortunately, these numbers are expected to rise. After the tragedy, there was a severe shortage of water and food, as well as rescue equipment. And in the long term, people do not have the financial means to rebuild their homes, let alone recover from the emotional toll of what they've experienced. As we can see, many countries are already facing the global consequences of climate change. But why have international organizations, including the UN, not yet initiated the creation of a single global scientific center to address the problem of climate change? Why is there still no global rescue service, and no effective economic model for providing timely assistance to all those affected by climate disasters? The climate situation is getting worse, and the only key to solving this problem is the urgent cooperation of the world's top scientists. A rapid response and coordination of efforts could save many human lives that the climate Cerberus claims every day.